So moving to She-Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
Is the metaphor behind She-Hulk the same as behind Bruce, so like the anger inside us?
The way I look at it, gamma radiation unleashes your inner spirit. And with Bruce, it's rage. With the Abomination, it's the ugliness. It's Emil Blonsky is someone who's a spy, who's someone who lies about who he truly is. There's an ugliness inside him. With the leader, it's self-importance. You know, it's everyone. That's when the gamma stuff is done right. In my mind, that's what it is. Doc Samson, it's his inner hero. It shows, it kind of reveals that aspect that you keep hidden, that's at your core of who you really are. And with Jennifer Walters, she's very inhibited. So this is her uninhibited free spirit that comes out. All the things that we want to say that we never tell people. All the ways we want to act. If you're attracted to someone but you feel you don't have that inner confidence, you crush on them from afar. She-Hulk doesn't do that. She-Hulk comes over and says, "Hey, baby." You know, there's something wonderful about that. But there's also, on some level, it's kind of like being drunk. You know, all her inhibitions go away.
Right.
And what, for me, when I was writing She-Hulk, the inner journey the character needs to take, that I wanted to explore, is there's no reason for Jen Walters to be inhibited. That Jen Walters is a beautiful person. She's a strong person. But she can only seem to show that when she's the She-Hulk. And that's the journey she takes, is to realize that her inner beauty and her inner strength are more important than her outer beauty and her outer strength as She-Hulk. That hopefully that was the hero's journey that she was taking throughout the book.
You're credited with bringing a lot of humor and a big change in Jennifer's personality in She-Hulk.
Oh, Byrne brought the humor.
Okay.
So John Byrne, sowed all the seeds for that. In fact, Roger Stern did a lot of that too. When you see She-Hulk in the Avengers and you see She-Hulk in like Marvel 2-in-1, before John Byrne brings her into the FF, that they already started to kind of bring in that sassy humor. Then, I mean, originally, "Oh, savage She-Hulk, get away from me, Zapper! You know, I hate you, father!" You know, it was all this pent-up rage and anger. And then she becomes sassy, and then she becomes who she is, and then she becomes kind of mocking and ironic under Byrne. So I think what we did was we kind of, when we took over the book, we made the star of the book Jennifer, and not She-Hulk. So, yeah.
No, you just answered my question, so good for me.
Yay!
If you couldn't write or draw comics, what job would you be doing?
I would die. I would shrivel up and die. I would sit at home and I would just cry all day. Why? Why can't I work in comics? No, I'm seriously, if I couldn't work in comics, I don't know what I'd do. I would probably just curl up. I wouldn't know what to do. I have no marketable skills. I am useless to everyone. No, this is my dream job, and it's very lucky because I think it's the only thing I can do.
Okay.
Yay! I'm very lucky to be in comics.
Here's another random one. What's your favorite comic sound effect?
My favorite sound effect of all time was one that Alan Davis did in an issue of Excalibur, because it took me a second to realize it, which was he had these aliens using Excalibur's washroom, and they blew it up with all their alien stuff, because aliens can't use human washrooms for some reason. And the sound effect of their washroom blowing up was ba-throom. Genius. Ba-throom. That was, it took me a while. I was like, you will never get a better sound effect than ba-throom.
That takes the cake.
That takes the cake.
Yeah.
But I'm a big fan. You should look up the Walt Simonson Thors, because that's John Workman on lettering. The sound effect becomes half of the art. Where it does these, every time Thor hits his hammer, it does something, and the gorgeous John Workman lettering will be crack-a-thoom, and they kept trying to stretch it out and do even more. So he's like crack-a-thoom, until you get whole pages of just sound effect with Thor in the middle, just to show you how powerful it was. Great sound effects.
And we've got a word game.
Okay.
So what you can do is I will say the name of a character, and you will say the first word that pops into your head that you associate with that character. Okay. Spider-Man.
Fun.
Peter Parker.
Loser. Peter Parker thinks of himself as a loser. That doesn't mean he is a loser.
Mary Jane Watson.
Who?
Mary Jane.
What? I'm sorry, I forgot. Oh, no, you didn't.
Harry Osborn.
Oh, Harry Osborn. Oh, God, first thing comes in here. Well, see, since I'm working on the book, it's redemption.
Okay.
Is when I think Harry.
Aunt May.
Wheat cakes.
That's a good one. Jennifer Walters.
Jennifer Walters? Oh, gosh. I've been off the book, man. She's out of my head. I have to, or else I'd think of She-Hulk stories all day. But if I had to do Jennifer Walters, it would be, it would probably be Inner Strength.
Slapstick.
James Fry. Whenever he created the character, and his name flashes in my head every time because I get these calls from like, what have you done to Slapstick? Why did you do that to Slapstick?
I love what you did.
Sorry, James. He's like, at least people see the character now again. He's like one of my best friends. And I just made his character a psychotic clown.
Oh, but it was so good. I would have never expected that ever, ever, ever.
The best thing about my job is that Tom Brevoort is really hard to surprise. He's really hard to, when you throw him a story turn, because he's read every comic in existence. And he edits stuff all the time, and he knows how a comic is put together. And I remember when I was walking him through Initiative 6, and I was like, yeah, and one of the cadets from behind beats the crap out of the gauntlet. And it's a murder, it's like a mystery, who beat up the gauntlet. And I'm walking him through all the beats, and what happens to Justice, and what happens to this character, and Hardball's doing this, and he's like, so who is it? I go, Slapstick. And he goes, what?
Yeah.
And I'm like, got it. I know I got a great story. Because it makes sense. It totally makes sense. The minute you see it, you see how it all's laid out for you. And I got Tom Brevoort by surprise. Recently, I told him something over the phone about Spider-Man, which you won't see for like over a year. And he was like, it's good. And when you get that from Tom, that feels like, boy, I earned it. Tough audience.
Trauma.
Misunderstood.
Ren and Stimpy.
Thank God it's over.